Something must be wrong, bro. Okay, so guys, and I am audible enough. So, uh, sure, I think I'll have to.
Hear me and I am audible enough design and you guys can see my screen. So we'll be designing. Let me view the landing page. So we'll be designing this some of the elements like the image, the going to add in the landing page. So apart from recreate this landing page, so we're going. If you cannot hear me because my laptop is on DND and my phone, going to do is you're going to unmute and you have to go back. I can't see it. My gadgets are on the. So now let's recreate. We're going to create it from the beginning to the ending so that everybody how to create this landing page. So first thing, guys, so I'm going to bring my style guide I have already designed. And let me bring it in. So I'm going to Command C, so I'm going to paste it here. I believe you guys can hear me, right?
I hear you.
All right. Yes, okay, so use this my color. I'm not going to use your color. Purple we are seeing here, but this background is already an image like that. An image like that. This peach is already an image like that. So my blue color here. So and I'm going to use my fonts. Let's start creating. So first thing first is I'm going to using frame size of 1444. So I'm going to click on it and this is it. So I'm going web landing page. So once I increase the web landing page, you just drag your frame since it's a landing page you are creating. So I'm going to scroll up. So the first thing first is I'm going to use. So before you add that, what are you supposed to do? Star L. I'm going to click here. I'm going to click here. And then for mobile, we said 100, 80, 70, whatever you want. I'm using 100. Okay, let's use 80. So I'm going to use 80 for it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create to go and take my logo. So I'll be using this logo here. So once I take the logo, I'm going to change this color. So I'll be using this my color. I won't my color. I will zoom. I will scroll down. Pick. I'm good to go. So once I'm done with that, so yeah, okay, and I'm going to move my style guide and my frame I add the landing page. I'm going to do now. I want to create. Let me zoom in. guys here and this button here. So I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to use the right and path I'm going to use there is going to be medium 18. So let's just cut it. Command X, Control X, scroll here. Here. So what and what did they write? So what they wrote, services. So home, so case study. I have blog. Sorry, so sorry about that noise. Is so now I have hero and I'm going to make it auto and space them the way I want. Now once I've aligned it to the center, all these two together, align to the center. But I think I don't like this space, so I'm going to layout. So once I make auto layout, I'm going to align to and left center. So now I need my button. So for create a button. So but I'm not going to use the button. I'm going to use text here. So I'm going to drag this here. I'm going to do it. Let's do it this way. Button. So let's just do it for doing sake for people that. So we have our text. What am I going to do? So once I do my auto layout, I cannot adjust. So make sure give it corner radius of 10 and then add a color. You can now adjust to whatever color you want. Please. So you can and make the text inside to be white. So this is how to create a button. X is consistent at the center. Use on our style guide. So we have this. Okay, so I think I like this color. I'm going to drag it out. I can. So I'm going to cut. So once I paste the button, so once I paste it, I can now keep it a little bit. For you to reduce the font. So I'm going to reduce of this actually reduce together. These together to layout, and so align to the left, take it up a little bit, and I'm going to auto layout. Are you guys?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's continue. So once I've made all of them, so once I make it auto layout all of here, and this is here, so I'm going to drag this to here, and I'm going to drag this to this place. It's now out of the point. So what am I going to do? Then click align center. So adjust to the center. So I cannot take it. That this thing is not having padding at the top, like padding. Like let's add pad like center. So I'm going to so I can make it 30. That's 12. So you can tell that the space of so 30 is too much. So let's make it 20. Okay, they can leave this side. You can leave vertical and horizontal. What are they called? And this side is 10. So let's and here 20. So you come here, you now take it to the top. So once you take it done so far. So you come here. While you wait for it to load, let's go back and do so that this place will not be too flat. Come to effect, click on it. Now the reason why it appears like this is because we are going to add a fill color so that it on the text. So you come here, add it a fill color of white. Now once you have the drop shadow will show on that here. So let's see if this has actually okay. Now it has preview like this. This header, Figma header coming up for this option. And now you can tell that on our button actually shifting inside. Now let's fit weight. Now it has set very well. Now I want to take this show Figma UI. So this is what I have. Now I don't want this shadow. This shadow is actually too dark, and I don't want this header. So I'll come back here, scroll to my drop shadow. So I'm going to click on this color and drag and then reduce the blur. Let's go back to output. Okay, let's play around with it a little bit. Okay, I think this is okay. We'll come back here. We're going to be moving around. What are we going to do? I'm going to scroll up.
Well, I can't hear anything again.
Can you hear? messages. Why are you people sending messages? As you can zoom that I can see it. No one. You guys hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Don't know why people are sending messages. One instruction. Okay. This header. So we're going to so I'm going to pick ruler rectangle. So I'm going to zoom in. So I'm going to hang on. Okay, let's reload. Let's reload. Are you guys with me?
I am with you.
Can you guys hear me?
Can hear you. Can hear you.
So I'm going to take it a little bit down. Keyboard I, or you come here, color. So once I pick this color, I can now go ahead. Please, you're distracting me. Please. So we have this image. So I'm just going to pick this image here. Let's pick this image and let's drag. So I'm going to reduce it. So I'm going to come and I'm going to reduce it a little bit. I'm going to turn on the, if it doesn't cross, it actually cross, and then take it inside. So I'm going to take it inside. Increase it a little bit, and then so now let's see what we've done so far. Now I want to design your business. So it turned out to be here. Should it be here? Okay, let's. I'm going to pick my font size 48. Sorry. Is this, so I'm going to say the, okay, so is it the best? But it's supposed to be capital. So let me move this a little bit so that the better ways to sorry. So I'm going to bring it in like this. I want it to be very big. So let's see what we've done so far. So let's, now you can see more. So I am going to increase it to 50. Okay, and I'm going to use to make it this way. So I'm going to, let's see, okay, because I want it to be very, very bold. I need to make it 64 because I want it to be very, very bold. Once I make it 64, I will now have to go back to my use extra bold urban list 64. Use black, which is this. You're going to add to be our color. So what are we going to do? I'm going, and then I'll scroll down. I'll go to my bottom, then click out. This body text here. So I'm going to use 20. So let's copy and paste it. Core. Are they still okay? Let's continue.
Yes, ma, I can hear you. I can hear you.
We want to create. We don't have any body text to add, so let's click, go to plugin, go to content. Okay, so I will go to text. So I'm going to click on this. Now I'm going to zoom out for it, and I'm going to reduce it. It's too much, so I'm going to cut it. So let's cut. Okay, so I think this is okay. Is 2 line or 3 line. I'm going to hold these two together, align to the left, turn all of them together and move it this way. We have this success is supposed to. So while we wait for it to change, so next thing I'm going to do is to add this. So I'm going to just go back to my style guide. So we'll go back to our style guide and then P. So take it to my design. So once I add it here, remember I said the size of button. So, and this is 44. So I'm going to change. Together, and I'll make it auto layout. It's auto layout. So let's see what we've done. So come here, I'll zoom out and I'll make it auto layout. So once I previous setting, I'll come back here. You'll be sure that the adjustment between these space is okay. I click on it and I'll just reduce it a little bit. Yeah. So once we make it 15, yeah. So once we make it 15 here, I can now reduce this space here a little bit. Okay, this is perfect. And then what is the next thing I'm going to do? I'm going to hold this header here and this image here, and I cannot make it auto layout. So let's make everything auto layout. So once I've made everything auto layout, this is what I have. So now let's see what we've done so far. Okay, so can place it and turn off the layout grid to fill the hero section that you have done so far. So I'm going to scroll here, and I'll be sure that this my hero section is not in fix, because if it is in fix, that means when you are trying to check this thing, it's just going to be stuck at one place. So I don't know why this didn't pick the color I use. So I'm going to see what is the issue. So I'm going to copy the color and then paste it again. So let's paste it like this and see the outcome. Let's see if there is an issue. Okay, so let's go back and then undo and then pick only this color and then paste it. It's supposed to reflect, but I don't know why it's actually not reflecting. Let's refresh. So let's refresh our prototype. After refreshing, it didn't show, but I don't know what is the cause. I'm going to see what the problem is, or it doesn't reflect to the font I'm using. So let's click this. I'm going to set it very well. I don't know why it's not showing. Let's pick another color and then paste it and see. It didn't work. Okay, I know what is the issue. The font size I use. It's the font size I use. The font weight, sorry, I use this thing, is not showing. So I had to go back and use another one for it to reflect. So this is what we have. So I'm going to adjust this as usual. So fit to width, and then remove this show only UI. So this is how it will be. So now let's move to the next stage. So the next stage we are designing is, where is our inspiration? So the next stage we are designing now is this. So we have trusted by the world best company. So let's go back to our font size. We're going to use font weight of medium. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it here. So once I come here, what am I going to do? Trusted. I'm going to change the content or the text. Trusted by the word what? Okay. I need to be sure that you guys are staying with me. So trusted by the world's best company. World's best company. Trusted by the world best company. So I'm going to align to the center. I think this particular font I use is a little bit too tiny. So I'm going to scroll here and then I'm going to use 24 semi-bold. So I'm going to come here and then I'll say trusted by the best, by the world best company. So I'm going to come here, scroll to semi-bold, select semi-bold. I already have this element outside, so I don't need to stress myself. It's just to bring them in. So I'm going to highlight all of them and then drag them. Since it's in PNG format, I'll just drag them in here. I'll paste it here. So once I paste it here, I'm going to hold all of them and do auto layout. So I'm going to, it's always carrying my previous settings. So I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to hold these two together and then do auto layout. Please, I am a fan of auto layout. For people that already know me, I am just a fan of auto layout because it helps me align my work easily. So this is it. And then I'll align to the center. Good. So let's see what we've done so far. Let's go up. Perfect. Okay, this space here is a little bit too close. So let's go back and then increase the space. So let's increase it. Let's make it 35. Please pardon me for that music. Oh, I'm sorry. So this is okay. Wow. So you can see that our landing page is now coming together. Are you guys with me?
We are with you, ma. We are coming together too.
Okay. All right. So the next thing we are going to design, let me zoom in. So the next thing we are going to design is this. So we already have this image. Let your visitors know about your features. So let's go. We already have this image. So I'm going to drag this image in. So I'm going to drag this image here. Now I'm going to turn on my layout grid because I need it for alignment. I'm going to turn it on. And I'm going to place it here. Now I need this text here. So I will have to go back. I'm going to use 40. Let's drag 45, 48 and 44. Let's see the one that fits in that for that title text. So I'm going to use, so you can just drag one, you can just copy one. Let's just copy one. You can adjust from this place. So I'm going to paste it here. So once I paste it here, what was the content again? So it says, let your visitors so I'm going to take it inside. I think I'll have to adjust it, but let's see how it fits. So I'm going to make it this way and let's see if it's actually bold enough. I think it's bold enough. So the image is okay, this content is okay. So I'm just going to drag it a little bit here. I don't like this too much space. So I'm going to drag it here out a little bit. So I'm going to borrow this text here. So I'm going to drag it out. So once I drag it out, I'm going to zoom in and then arrange it. I want it to be very plenty, so I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste it. Like I want the text to be plenty, so I'm going to hold this together again and then auto layout. So I'm going to drag it here down a little bit and I'm going to increase this like this here to get to this line. So let's see if there is button. Okay, there is button, our process. So I'm going to duplicate this button here. So I'm going to duplicate this button here and bring it down here. And I'm going to rename the hire me inside to be our process. So I'm going to hold these two together. So if I'm satisfied with this space, which is good here, so I'm going to, let's add it a little bit, it's a little bit too close. I'm going to hold then these two together and then make it auto layout. It's always kind of previous settings for me. So I'll align to the top, align to the bottom, or align just as long as it is in the left hand side, no problem. So this is what we have so far. So now let's start from the beginning. This is what we have, and this is what we have. So this space here is kind of a little bit too much. It's different from here. So I'm going to adjust it to here and here to be equal. So now let's check the space. So remember when you are done with this, so you're going to hold this together and then make auto layout. So once you make auto layout, you can now go ahead and add your padding. So you can make it 30. Okay, you can leave this left and just make the height and the bottom to be 30. So that to have space here, and all. You can choose to make it 50, your choice. So this is okay, but I think there's a little bit space here. So I'm going to drag this to the end. Okay, so this is okay. So I'm going to hold this, and I'm going to hold this, and I'm going to come here, and I'll click on tidy. Now you can see that the space here and the space here is the same, so which is 125. So I can come here and change it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make it 100. Now the space here and space here is 100. So what is the next thing I'm going to do? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to preview and see what I've done so far. So let's see what we've done so far. So this is what we've done so far. You can see that our landing page is now coming, it's not making sense. So we have this, the header, we have the header, which is this. We have the hero section. Now we are creating the body of the landing page. So we've added this, and we've made the space between this and this to be the same thing. We've made this auto layout. So now the next thing we are going to design is this section. So we're going to design the section. Now I'm going to bring my rectangle. I'm going to bring my rectangle, and I'm going to pick this color. I'm going to turn off my layout grid so that I can actually see what I'm doing. And I'm going to check the space between them. It's not up to 100. So, but I'm not going to make it too much 100 because here has already eaten 30. Remember, it has already taken 30. Then, so what are we going to do now? Here has already taken 30. So what are we going to do? We're going to make it 100. Now I'm going to adjust. So how to create this measurement? To see this measurement here. Now you can remember that this 80 at the left, 80 at the right. Remember our margin is 80. So if you want to get this measurement, what you have to do is hold your Alt key and then place your cursor. Like, make sure you are clicking on an element or something inside the design, and then hold your Alt key. So once you hold your Alt key, you see that it is now showing into 2. So what you do, you just move it to any place you want to take measurement, and to come out like this. Then you can now adjust. So you can now adjust. If you hold your Shift key, it will now give you +10, -10, like +10 if you're going up and down, +10 and all. So this is 100. So this is what we have. Now let's go and create this. So we're going to use the same font size here and here. So I'm going to bring this here. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to drag it, same Alt key. I'm going to place it here. Now when I place it here, you see that the element is under. What am I going to do? I'm just going to come here, and I'm going to drag to up here. And then I'll come here, and then I will scroll for me to stretch auto width to width the text. Now I'm going to copy this. I want company features. So I'm going to write it. I want company features. So this is what we have, and I'm going to align to the left, align to the center, horizontal center. Horizontal center, horizontal center. And now let's create this outside. So I'm going to create this. So let's create it. So I'm going to increase this a little bit again. We can adjust it later. I'm going to turn on my layout grid. So I'm going to let me lock this hero section. So I'm going to lock this screw. I'm going to lock this hero section. So I'm going to lock it here. And then I'm going to come back to create this. So let's turn our layout grid. I'm going to turn it on. Now I want to create this. So I'm going to use my rectangle. So I love using rectangle to take measurement. So once I'm done, I will just put the rectangle inside auto layout. So let's take the measurement, the right measurement for the spacing between the 3 of them. So I normally use rectangle to take the measurement. So let's take it and let's place this at the center, and let's hold it and then click on tidy. Now when I click on tidy, you see that the space between them is -8. So I can come here and then create spacing between them to be 10. I think 10 is too close. Let's make it 20. So this is 20 is perfect. So I'm going to make this here. I'm going to hold all of them again. I'm going to come here. We've gotten 20 spacing to be them. So what I'll do, I'll just hold this 3 here, and I'll click on this width, and then I'll push it, and I'll say -20. Now you can see that you could tell that we've actually gotten the correct size for each block. I don't know if you understand this mathematics I did here. Now I used, let me go back, 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 go back. Now I want to adjust this rectangle. Now I don't want it to cross this line, and I don't want it to cross the line. What am I going to do? I'm going to tidy. Now I have tidied them up. Now I don't have space between them. Now the space I have between them is -8. That means they clamp themselves with more than 8. Now I want to get a better space between them. What am I going to do? I'm going to come to this place. Where is the name? The name should show. I'm going to come here and then put 20. Now if I put 20 now, I think I am okay. Let me turn off this layout grid. I am okay with the space between them. But now if you check, the third box is actually out of the layout grid. And I don't want it like this. So what am I going to do? I am going to hold the 3 of them again. Then now it's showing the space between them is 20, which is what I love. Now I'm going to come to the space between the width of the 3 of them and then put -20. So once I put -20, you see that the space in between them is now ×2. So I'm going to adjust this inside. And I'm going to hold these 3 together. And I will come here again and I will do tidy. So now you can see that I'm having 21 because it was odd number before. 433 minus 20 is giving me 413. So if it's even number, let's say if it is 434, like in even number, you can see that it will give us spacing of 20. But since it's in odd number, it's giving us spacing of 21, which is also good. And now let's check the 3 of them. You could tell that this is 79 and this is 80. So what are you going to do? You're going to hold this and then you're going to bring this inside. Now, once you bring this inside, it will now give you that 20 that you're looking for, or even 21. So you make sure that it is the same. So we have 30 here, we have 80 here, and we have 80 here. So don't allow your element to cross outside. So now what are we going to design? Now I think we are missing something. We are missing this. Are they still with me? Or they've all gone to bed? Hello?
I'm with you, ma. Yeah,
okay.
With you.
All right. So now I think we are missing this particular text here. So for people that cannot talk, welcome. Our class rep and others, welcome. So I'm going to duplicate this and then add it here. So you can see it's under. So I'm just going to come here and then drag it to get to the top. Don't allow it to pass this scroll. If you pass this scroll, it's going to be fixed at a point, which is not what we want. So I'm going to reduce the content of this text because it's too much. So I'm going to reduce it from here and then take this out. I think this is okay. Align to the center and hold these two and then auto layout and then align both of them to the center. Now, the next thing we want to do now, we'll take our measurement. Now we want to design this. So I already have these 3 elements here. So I'm just going to turn off our layout grid. So once I turn off our layout grid, so I'm going to change this to white. So I'm going to pick my white color, change it to white. I already have these 3 elements. So I'm just going to drag them inside here. So I'm going to keep it here. So I'm going to zoom and I'm going to bring this one here. So once I bring this here, and the next thing I'm going to do is to add this title and then the body text. So I'm thinking I will have to take this body text again. So once I take it again, I will adjust it to the top and I will reduce it to my font text, which is 16. And then I'm going to go back and see the perfect title text I'm going to use. So I'm going to use 24 semi-bold. So I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm going to change this to semi-bold 24. So once I change to 24, what's the text? The text says easy something. It says easy to purchase. So let's change this text here to easy purchase. So once I've changed it, I'm going to hug the text. So we have easy to purchase. I'm going to place it here. Then I'm going to bring this and I'm going to reduce it. Where is that? Okay, let's reduce it from here. So once we reduce it from here, let's see how it is being aligned. It's aligned to the center. So I'm going to drag it inside. So I'm going to place it at the center, align to the center. You can align your text to the left, align to the right, and align to the center. So we want the center. So I'm going to place it here. And I'm going to hold these two together, auto layout as usual. So I'm going to hold the two of them together and then auto layout. So remember to be sure that these things are not going outside this screw. If not, it's going to be pinned, like it's going to be fixed at a position and you'll be wondering why. So we have this and I'm going to adjust it to, let's use spacing 18. 18 is too much, so I'm going to use 15. So we have 15 and then I'm going to make this auto layout. So I'm going to make this auto layout and make sure it is aligned to the center. Now I will scroll out and then see how this person's arrange his or her own. And then I will go back and arrange my own like that. So I'm going to hold this together. I'm going to hold this together and I'm going to reduce the spacing. And I'm going to hold this together and I'm going to reduce the spacing. So I'm going to hold this together, auto layout, and I'm going to align to the center. So we didn't add auto layout to our rectangle because we use it for measurements. So I'm going to come here and then arrange it, like move this and move this. Okay, this is okay. So I'm going to delete this. So this is what we want. So I don't even need to stress myself here. I've already done what I want to do. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this and this out, keep it here, and I'm going to just duplicate this. I don't even need to stress myself and start creating it from the beginning. So what I just need to do is to turn on my layout bridge. So I'm just going to delete this out, pick this, drag it to this way, pick this one, put it inside here. So once I put it inside, now you're showing me that this blue line now means I'm going to replace this icon with that one. So this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to leave it and I'm going to delete this one. This is it. That's adjust. I will just come back here and then pick the right up agency web. So I'm just going to click here. So I have agency web. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this rectangle I use for measurements. And I'm going to drag this one here. Now this one is having another color, right? So I'm just going to replace it the same way. So I'm going to replace it the same way and I'm going to delete this one. That is one beauty about auto layout. No stress. Like you've done one thing to one thing, just take it the same way. You don't even need to stress yourself. So I'm going to use this word for it and I'm going to zoom in. So let's zoom in. Did I spell that word right? No. Okay, so it has corrected me. So I'm going to change this to my color. As usual, get my color picker and then go and pick the color. So where is it? So get my color picker and pick this color. And I'll come back and then I will change all this to black, white. So I'm going to change it to white. So we have these and I'm going to give all of them. Now let's see what we've done so far. So this is what we've done so far. Now you can see it is the same measurements, same alignment, everything is the same. But now this color is actually too bright and it's half sharp edge. So let's go back to the design let's hold the three of them together. You can see that everything, the spacing in all of them is 10. The corner radius, horizontal and vertical padding is 49 and 48. You see it now, see it. The spacing between year and year, 49, sorry. The vertical padding is 47. The space between both of them is 10. And then we can now come here and hold all of them together. And then we'll say corner radius should be 20. Okay, yes, 20. And then we can now reduce the color of this and use our second color. So let's go back and let's use our second color. So we're going to use this color. So I'm going to get my color picker and then pick this color and then come back and see what we've done so far. Okay, I think this is better. So this is what we've done so far. And I hope it's not difficult, right? So we've done this. Now let's adjust all this together as one section. So I'm going to hold these three together and I'm going to make it auto layout. And I'm going to hold this one I've already done and I'm going to make it auto layout. So once I've made it auto layout, I'm going to hold this and I'll make it auto layout. So if I make it auto layout, you see that it has actually adjusted. So now I think I'm comfortable with this, but I'm not comfortable with this because it's giving me 44. So I'm going to come here. So you can choose to increase only one side like this, which the number is going to change here. But I just like making them to be equal. So I'm going to make it 60. So I'm going to make it 60. I think I'm comfortable. I like the way 60 is. So this place is okay for me, but this place is not okay. So I'm going to increase it only by one side. So let's make this side to be 100. Now, I think I'm going to check this. Okay, let's check this. Let's check this. So we have this and this 100. So now I'm going to make this line to get to this top. I don't like the way it's placing at the center. I want it to be like this. So I'm going to drag this here, and I'm going to drag this here. So once I drag this, you see that this thing has gone out of the line. I don't need to stress myself. All I have to do is just to come here and align to the center. That's adjust. Now let's see what we've done so far. Now from the beginning, this is what we've done so far. So we have our hero section. We have this part, the beginning of the body of the landing page. We have this. We have this. Now we have this. And now, if we want to make this place to be interactive, we didn't do it interactive. So we want to make this interactive. Now we can undo what we did in the last class. So I'm going to pick this. So let's move, before we continue, let's make it interactive because we don't have much remaining. So let's move this and let's drag this out. So we're going to drag it out and place it here. Now, last time we did it, we made it to be responsive. So this is actually not responsive. So what am I going to do? I'm going to hold this text here, come here, P container. I'm going to, okay, so before I make it fit container, I will have to drag this text to get to this point. Now it has actually gotten to where I want. I'm going to come to this place, align to the center, and I'm going to hold it to be fit container. And I'm going to come here and click fit container. So once I make it fit container, you can, if you want to make it fit container, if you expand, you can just leave it like that. And then you make the title text to be fit container. And then you make this, we did this one auto layout. So you come here and you make it fit container. I want to sneeze. Then you hold this image inside and then make it fit container. So once you've made it fit container, you cannot play around with it. So when I play around with it, I noticed that this actually didn't work. So I'm going to make it fit container or all content or fit container. So I'm going to try fit container. So I think fit container work. So I'm going to hold this and I'm going to play around with it. Now it's actually adjusting. Now it is actually adjusting, which is what we did on our previous class. So the video is up on YouTube. So go and see it. So this is it. So now let's go back and get our right font. I think it's 413. So 413. So I'm going to get this and then make it 413, 413. So this is what we have. We're going to make it components and we're going to make it variant. So I'm going to hold this frame 3113 and I'm going to click here and say card 1. And I'm going to make this white. And I'm going to say this is going to be colored background. So I think I did all this in our previous video on YouTube. So you just go and check it out. So I'm going to change this color to the color we use. So I think this is the color we use. This is the color we use. So I'm going to change this text here to be white. I'll come to prototype and I'll click here. I'll drag it here and I'll make it Y hovering and instant. So I'm going to just do the same thing for all of them. So I'm going to come to design. So I'm going to copy this. So I'm going to copy this and then I'm going to replace it with this. So I'm going to replace it with the first card. So I'm going to paste it and I'm going to delete this one. So I'm going to take this out too. So let's create this for what we've done. So I'm going to create this out. So I'm going to make it responsive. So I'm going to drag this to here. I'm going to align to the center. I'm going to come here, fill container, come here, fill container, fill container. So once it expands like this, you don't need to panic. Just undo what you've done. Come here and then fill container. So once you fill this container, you can now come here and then fill this container. It actually repeats the same thing. You don't need to panic. Just go back and make it this way and then come here and make sure that it adjusts to the center and then you drag. Now you can tell that it's not responsive. You now come back here and then you now go fill container. So it's actually expanding. So check what the issue is. Now you can see that this is actually in hog instead of fill container. So I'm going to make it fill container this way. Now, if you drag it and it then go back and hold these two together and then make it fill container and then play around with it to be sure it's aligned. And then I can now come back and put my right measurement, which is 413. So I've made it 413. Sorry. So I'm going to bring it this way. I'm going to make it components, make it variant, hold this, and then make it come here, make it card 2. So when I make card 2, I'm going to hold this and say colored. Colored. Are you guys with me? And I'm going to make this to be white. Are you guys still with me?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
All right. So I'm going to change this here and make it Y hovering. So I'm going to change this color to be white. So I'm going to make this color to be white. So I'm going to hold these two together. So now if we make this white, you can tell that this our color is not visible. So it's actually a default image I use. I'm not the one that got it. If I assume I was the one that got it, I will get the two color in color background and in white background. But I didn't know where the person got it from. So I'm going to change this to my black. And I'm going to do the same thing for this other one. So I'm going to copy this colored one. So I'm going to copy this colored one. Control C, Command C, and then click on this colored one inside and then paste it. So once I paste it, I'm going to delete the old one. So then we have the last one. I'm going to drag it out and I'm going to make it responsive. So I'm going to bring it down. So I'm going to make it responsive. So the first thing I'm going to do is the title text. UI is not hard. UI is very, very sweet and easy. So I'm going to make it this way and I'm going to align to the center. I'm going to make it pick container. Then I'm going to hold these two I did together and I'm going to hold it to pick container. So when I've done pick container, I can now come back and hold my phone and then make it pick container. So this is how it will be. And then I'm going to return it back, hold this one, make it fit container. So once I made it fit container, I can now go back to this font and then make it fit container. Now you can see that it has actually carried itself and then fixed inside. So this is fit container. Don't touch the image. So just the fit container and then I'll hold it and then I'll test it. can see it's responding. So I can now return it back to the normal size I'm using, 413. Good. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to make it interactive. Components, variant, and I'm going to hold this property, change the name to card 3. So I'm going to hold this to be white, and I'm going to say this to be colored. So I'm going to place this in a color background. So I'm going to pick my color, and I'm going to make this to be white. I'm going to close it. So I'm going to come back here, prototype. I'm going to drag this. Where is it? I'm going to click on this and then drag it, and the settings will come out. I'll click here and say while hovering. So once I'm done, I'm going to pick the white, go back to my design, and then pick it like Control C, then come to this place. Okay, then I will now have to paste it. So once I paste, I'm going to delete this old one. So once I've deleted, now let's preview what we've done so far. So I can now come here and then preview what I've done so far. So it's actually not giving me what I want. So I'm going to turn this to white so that when I touch my cursor, it will be just one color. So I'm going to come here, click this color there, and then come back and return it to white. Now, once I return to white, I can now come back here, and then when I touch it, it will respond. I don't know why this is actually not responding. So let's go back and then adjust the settings. So let's go back and adjust. This is responding, but I don't know why this is not responding. So let's go back and then take it out. So let's take it out. So I'm going to click it, and then I'm going to copy the white. Sorry, I copied the wrong thing. So I'm going to copy the white. Here, Control, Command C. Auto layout can be very, very tricky. Very, 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 very. It can even make you give up along the way, but please don't give up. It can actually make you to give up, like, I'm not doing it again, I'm tired. What is all this? And it can actually confuse you. So you just need to be very, very careful. So now let's preview and then see what we've done so far. I need to be sure why this is actually not responding. This too is actually responding, but I don't know why this is not responding. Let's go back and go to the prototype to be sure. Now show all prototype. Let's see it. Let's click on it. Click on the prototype setting. It's on hovering, so we can turn it off and then return it back. We need to be sure what the issue is. Why hovering? Okay. Now let's come back here. Let's click on the landing page we've done. So I want to click on the landing page and I want to preview again to be sure it's working. So that's preview now. Okay, let's close it and open it again. So let's close and open it again. While we are waiting, let's continue with other section. We must get it right this time. It's a must. So the next section we are designing is this section. So we don't even need to stress ourselves. What we have to do is just to duplicate this and then turn it the other way. So what we are going to do is we're going to come back to our design. We're going to click this and then drag it down. When we drag it down, please come down. So I think my system is actually hanging, or Figma is hanging. I don't know which one I'm going to complain right now. So we have this, let's see, click out. So I have this, so I'm going to make it 100. So I'm not going to make it 100 like this because it's going to be too much. So we already have 100 here, we already have 30 here. So I can make it 70. So Figma is all about mathematics. Most things on Figma is mathematics. So I'm going to make it 70 so that it will not look like the space here and here is too much because we already have 100 here. So yeah, we already have 30. Yeah, we already have 30. 50. Yeah. So now we have we have 70, which is perfect. Okay, so we can reduce this a little bit. So let's make it. So let's make here. Let's make here 80. Okay, let's make 80. So while we see if this now is actually load, it has not load. Let's wait for it to load. So we are going to change this to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to collect my image. Once I collect my image, I'm just going to hold this. I'm going to hold this and just paste it. So once you paste it, this is how it will become. So I'm going to delete this one. So I have this and I'm going to change it. So I'm going to click on this, come to this place. I will start clicking on the elements one by one. So I'm going to click on the elements. So we don't need this button. So I'm going to take this button out. We don't need this button. So I'm going to take the button out. So I'm going to change this text here and this text here. So I'm going to click on this section and I'm going to, this is the image. So I'm just going to drag this contents up and it has changed. And then I will come to this place and then look at the write-up. So I'm going to implement it here. Are you seeing what is going on? You can see that it's because of the auto layout, it's not going straight. It's actually just filling the position. I think I made a mistake somewhere. This eye is not here. So you can tell that this is what work of auto layout does. Like the work of auto layout is so sweet, like so sweet. It doesn't give headache at all. So let's see if this has actually loaded. Okay, now let's set it. So let's set it and then let's see what we've done so far. This is not responding. Why? This is not responding. I don't know why. So we have to create it again. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to drag it down. So since this is actually a baby of component, so I'm going to remove it from, like, distance it out. I just want it to stand as auto layout, which it has returned back to auto layout. So I'm going to place it this way. So once I place it this way, I'm going to make it auto layout, component, sorry, and I'm going to add variant. So once we add variant, I'm going to hold the property and I'm going to make this card 2. So I'm going to hold this and say white, and I'm going to make this second one to be colored. So when we make it colored, I'm going to hold it and I'm going to pick this color. Now we pick this color, I'm going to hold it and come to here and then say prototyping, and then I will click on Y hovering. So once I'm done, I'm going to change this content here to white. So I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to click to white and I'm going to add it here. So I'm going to pick this white, Control C, and then I will come here, hold this one, the second one, and I'm going to hold the second one and then paste it. So once I paste it, I'm going to delete the old one. Now let's see if it's going to be interactive. Yay! That's work. This is what I want. It has actually worked. This is nice. This is nice. This is nice. This is nice. So you can see how I'm not clicking on it. I'm just moving my cursor and it's actually interacting. So this is it. So we are going to work for the button. So when we are done, we are going to do the button. So when you touch it, it's just going to change over. But let's see if we can tamper with it. So I'm going to delete this one so I will not make mistakes. So I'm going to delete the second one. So I'm going to delete this second one And I'm going to drag all this one now into my style guide. So I'm going to drag them into my style guide. So I'm going to hold the 3 of them. And where is the other one? So I'm going to drag the 3 of them into my style guide. So let's drop it here and let's increase our style guide. So I'm going to drag this into this place. Now, the next thing we're going to do, let's see if I can play around with the button, if it's going to be responsive. So I'm going to go to prototype and I'm going to click here. I'm going to click here. Okay, I can't do this like this. I can't do this like this, but let's just see if it's actually going to work. So I have Y hovering. So let's see if others is going to be responsive. Oh, it's actually responsive. So I'm going to change this to button A and button B. So now the reason why I said I can't do this like this, now watch. You see the reason why I say I can't do this like this. I have to do it individually. So that is why I said I can't do it that way. So I have to do it individually. Like each button to be individual. So but when we are done with the design, we are going to do it. So one more time, let's test this prototype. This auto layer that nearly gave me small headache this afternoon. Are you guys with me? This one, you guys are quiet. Trust me, auto layout is not difficult. It's not difficult, I promise. It's not. Now let's continue. So the next section we are going to work on. So let's go back to our Figma design. So the next section we are going to work on is our impressive portfolio. So this time around, we don't actually need long information. So what we have to do is just drag this, duplicate and drag, come back to this place, turn on our layout grid. So once we turn our layout grid, I'm going to align to the left. And I'm going to reduce this font size from 48 and I'm going to use 24. It's too small. So let's see if it's 32 we use there or 36. I'm going to go back to my style guide. I'm going to see if I use 32. So I'm going to use 32 or 28 and see how it turns out to be. So this is 32. I think 32 is okay. Let's go and see it. I think 32 is actually good. So we're going to come back here. I'm going to see this. So this is what I want. So our impressive portfolio. So I have this. So our impressive portfolio. So I have this. So the next thing I'm going to do is to add all the portfolio. So we already have the images here. So I'll just drag this image here. And I'll drag this image here. And I will drag this image here and this image here. So I'm going to just drag it in. So I'm going to turn off this layout grid. Let me see what I am doing. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to borrow this here. I'm going to add it to website design, something like that. Website design. So I have the website design. I have the dashboard design. So I'm going to, I think I'll have to increase this because it's a little bit too small. So I'll have to use 44. So I think this is better because we have 44 on our side. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to duplicate this to dashboard design. So I'm going to click this to dashboard design. So I'm going to duplicate this, and then I'll bring it down. So here we have, you should be gallery something, gallery. So here should be gallery This should be gallery item and mockup design. So this should be gallery items, and this should be mockup design. So this should be mockup. Is there space between the mock and the up? Yes. So this is what we have. Okay. So now we're going to do auto layout for all of them. So I'm going to hold this and this, auto layout, this and this, auto layout, this and this, auto layout, this and this, auto layout. So once I've hold all of them auto layout, I'm going to hold all of them and make sure that all of them is carrying the same spacing. So the same spacing I'm going to give them is showing me default 26. So I'm going to make them 26, which is okay for me. So no, this is not the wrong one. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to remove this mix and I'll put 26 my hand. So I'm going to hold this. So this is 26, this is 26, this is 26, and this is 26. So I'm going to align all of them now very well. So I'm going to align this and then make it auto layout, this and this auto layout. So once I made it auto layout, this spacing between this is 50, the spacing between this is 61. So I'm going to make it the same. So I'm going to hold all of them together and align to the center. So don't forget, whenever you're doing this first one, make sure it's always aligned to the top center, or make sure it's aligned to the center. Then this and this is kind of different spacing. So I'm going to use 50 for both of them. And I'm going to turn on my layout grid. So I'm going to turn on my layout grid and I'm going to hold this together here. And then I'm going to adjust it this way. So once I've adjusted this way, I'm going to drag this to this point. And now the space between them is not much. So I'm going to hold this, and I'm going to make it 70. So I think 70 is okay. 17 is okay. So I can choose to return it, or you can choose to just leave it that way and then give it padding between both of them. So align, then let's use this one to test it. So this is okay. You can now push it to this place and then push this one to this place and then align to the center. Same thing here and here. Push here and then drag here and then align to the center. So once you align to the center, you can now hold the both of them together and then you can now make it to be 100. And make it to be 100. And then once you've done auto layout, you can now hold these two together and this together and then make it auto layout. So once you make auto layout, it's aligned to the left, what we want. And then all you have to do here is just to drag it here and drag this one here and then align to the center. So once you align to the center, you're going to hold this and this again and then align to the left. So that just this one will be at the center. So you can now turn it off and then see what we've done so far. So we've created this particular section. Now the section we're going to create is our testimonial. So now let's see what we've done so far. So I'm going to click on this and then I'm going to scroll this. So you see what we've done so far. You see, now I notice that the space here and the space here is not the same. So I'll have to go back and see why it's like that. So I'm going to hold this and see why it is like that. So I'm going to see a line to the center. Okay, I think it's because the image has space already. So the image has space already. So it's not bad, it's okay. So I'm going to see, so that it's going to tell, like, it's just showing that this image is actually at the center. So this is what we have. Now the next section we are going to work on is the section we are going to work on is this particular one. So I already have this color. So I'm just going to use my rectangle to take my measurements. And then I'm going to pick the color. I already have the color. So once I pick the color, I'm just going to adjust this rectangle to fit in the screen. So I already have this. So I'm going to use this. I already have it. So I'm just going to pick this here. So once I pick this here, I'm just going to bring it to the top. So yeah. So once we bring it to the top, now we're going to have our testimonial. So I'm going to zoom in and then change the text or the context to testimonial. So I'm going to hold the two of them together and align to the center. Now, once I've aligned to the center, I am comfortable because I'm using one spacing. So now let's create this. Let's create this box. So let's get our box now for measurements. We already use 130. So we're going to use that measurement because it's actually forth fitting. So I'm going to pick my white color. So I'm going to bring it in here, very close. And I need the body text and image. So I'm going to take this body text here. So once I move this body text, I'm just going to bring it to the top. So it's actually here. So I want to bring it to the top. What I have to do is just to move it to the top. Now I am designing this thing outside the frame. So I'm just move it to the top. And then I'll just use the same body text. So I'm not going to use black. So I'm not going to use black and I'm not going to use 20. So I'm going to reduce it to 16 and I'm going to reduce it more. So I'm going to copy this text and add more. So I'm going to use my gray color. So I'm going to go back to my style guide and pick my gray color. So this is my gray. So I'm going to pick my gray color. So once I pick my gray color, I'll have to go back. So I have picked my gray color. So I'm going to place this here and I'm going to reduce the text a little bit again because it's too much. So I'm going to add full stop here. So I'm going to duplicate this and then put the name of the person. So, okay, not the name yet. Let's just say I love UIX, UIUX or UXUI, anyone. So I'm going to place it this way and I'm going to make it medium. Should we make it medium or we should make it bold? So let's make it bold and see. Okay, bold is okay. So I'm going to return it back to my black color because I want that thing to be visible or the text to be visible. And I'm going to add emoji. So now let me teach you how to add emoji to your design. So remember we talked about on our former class we talked about plugin. I said use Iconify because you can get both emojis there. So now let's search for. Okay, this is wow. I love this update. So let's look for emojis. Emojis. So let's look for colored emoji, but it's not giving us colored emojis. So let's filter search. Wow. Wow, they've changed it. Wow, this is nice. They've changed it. So let's go to colored emoji. So let's search by colored emoji ourselves. So I can come here and look for smile. No, I'm not going to use that cat's face. So I'm going to use this. I'll just drag it in and it shows here. I'll just close it and bring it in and then hold this text together and then make it auto layout. Then I'll come here and then reduce it. So once I've reduced it, I will now align to the center. So the next thing we have is the line and then the name of the customer. So I'm going to hold it this way. I'm going to drag this. So I'm going to use my name, Design Cook. So I'm going to use Design Cook. So I'm going to use Design Cook. Are you guys still with me? So I'm going to use Design Cook. So once I use my name, I'm going to change the color to the color we've been using. So all the previous color that I've been using is going to reflect it. So I'm going to use this our color. So let's just do our normal color picker. So whoever is sending message, please, what are you sending? So I'm going to use our color picker and pick our color. I'm going to come back here. It's actually in semi-bold, which is perfect. And I'm going to give this line and then the title. So I'm going to duplicate this. Come here. and then make it let's make it design tutor. So I'm going to make it this way, and I'm going to reduce it a little bit. So I'm going to hold these two together. Now I'm going to hold this text, this and this, auto layout. Now once you make it auto layout, you can choose to adjust the size here. Now what we are going to do now is the line. So I'm going to add the line. So I'm going to use my pen tool and then add the line. So I'm going to make it 0.5, and I'm going to use gray color for it. So this is okay. I'm going to hold these two together. So we've done this auto layout. I'm going to hold these two together and then make it auto layout. And I'm going to hold this and make sure that this is aligned to the center. Be sure that this is aligned to the center. So I'm going to hold this together and this together. Sorry. I'm going to hold this and this together and then make it auto layout. So once I've done it, make it auto layout, I need image. So I need image. What am I going to do? So I'm going to add this eclipse here. So I'm going to add this eclipse here. So I'm going to come here, and I'm going to choose image. So let's go and pick image from my from my laptop. So I'm going to use this image. So you can choose to adjust the image, crop. So you can now choose to crop my image so that the face of the person will show. So let me zoom and show you what I did. So I can make my face to show. Then hold this together and then bring this and this. So if you're not comfortable with this, you can go ahead and then change the size. So let's make it 50. So we've made it 50. We are going to hold I'm going to hold all of them and this image and then auto layout. So once I've made it auto layout, I can now choose to align it where I want to align it and then adjust this to the way I want it to be. And then I'm going to hold this and then the rectangle and then make it auto layout. So once I made it auto layout, this is how it's going to look like. So I can now give it corner radius of 10 and then place all the elements at the center. So I'm going to go back to my 413, which is okay like this, and I'm going to drag it inside. Yeah. So once I've dragged it inside, I'm going to drag this line a little bit down. So I'm going to duplicate it. So turn on your layout grid. So I'm going to make it this way and then make it this way. So I'm going to drag this one this way. So I'm going to hold these three, and then you don't need to stress yourself tidy or arranging it. Just do auto layout. It will automatically arrange itself. Now there's no space between all. Okay, there's space. The space between them is 21. Okay, yeah, see it here. Sorry, the space between them is 21, and then we can now check this. You can see that the space here is 78. So we have to take out 2 minus 2. So you can see that we now have 82 and this. So we need to adjust it very well. So let's make it 20. Now you can see that the space is now okay. So we're going to hold these two together and then make auto layout, which is already aligned to the center. We're going to drag it a little bit, and then we're going to hold this and then make it auto layout. So once you make auto layout, you can now come here and then arrange the padding the way you want it to be. So now let's make the padding to be 60. We can choose to make it 70. Now this is okay. Now let's preview what we've done from the beginning to the end. Now let's see. So now this is what we have done from beginning of our landing page to where we are now. So this is what we've done. I really love how this thing is actually interactive. So let's come back here. We've done this. We've done our impressive portfolio section. We've done the testimonial section. Now, let me show you another sweet tip. If you want this thing to be moving this way, now this is what you will do. You're going to click on this auto layout you did. So now let's duplicate this, Control D. Sorry, not that. This, then Control D, Control D, Control D. So now when we've done Control D, you can now come back here. Now hold this one, not like the one auto layer that is holding all of them together. So we are going to hold the one auto layer that is holding all of them together. So I'm going to hold this particular one, so which is this, and I'm going to now you can see that the thing has scattered, which you don't need to panic. What you have to do is we want to make this thing to be going, like we want it to be moving this way. Like when we use our mouse to move, it will move. And we want this our testimonial to be at the center. So what we need to do is just to close this. So what we need to do is just to close it. That's what we need to do. So we just need to close it. So once you've closed it, you can now tell that this thing is now aligned to the center. So let's turn our layout grid and then put it very well. So now let's go back. So let's go back here and move it this way. Okay, let's first of all arrange this one inside. So let's move this one to be here. So you need to zoom in to set it very well. Now, once you've set it very well, you can see this will automatically be at the center. Are you guys staying with me? So, so once you've set it at the center, then you can now click on this one, like click on this. Sorry, you can now click at one of the one auto layer that is holding all of them together. You come to prototype. So I need to be sure of what I'm calling horizontal or vertical. So this is horizontal and this is vertical. So I will come here and then I will come to this place. I will say, sorry, I will come to undo. So I'll come to this overflow, scrolling, and then I will say scroll vertical. Is it scroll horizontal or scroll? Sorry, scroll horizontal. So I will come here and I'll make it sit. So you can see the beauty. So if you change it by different contents and different name and image, that is where it will be very, very interesting and very, very beautiful. So this is what we've done so far. So the next part we are going to design. So I'm going to turn off my layout grid so I can actually see what I'm doing very well. So the next we are going to do is we are going to do this particular one. So we're going to do this particular one. So when we do this particular one, then you know what comes next. So the next one we're going to do is we are going to work on this. So I'm going to get my rectangle. So once I get my rectangle, I'm going to get my color picker and pick my own color. I'm using my own color. So I'm going to, where is it now? So I'm going to get my color picker and then pick my own color. So once I pick my own color, I'm going to see what they wrote inside. So they said we build brand website. So I'm going to drag, this is not complete. So I'm going to make this complete, 1140. Okay, so I'm going to I'm going to use this text because it's the same font size we are using. So I'm going to place it here. So let's drag it into these people's frame and then copy this right up. So let's drag it in these people's frame and then copy these people's right up. So I'm going to hold this. I'm going to click on this. Now I want to change the other big one to be top and the small one to be at the bottom. So I'm going to move it. So I think I'm okay with this little text here. So, but let's just make it capital letter. So we can click on this text typing and then make our text to be capital letter. And then we can close it and then adjust its straight. And then this I can just say we start by These people playing music, I don't understand them. Shape our, sorry, so I have to copy this text, our design. So I just wrote that in by assumption, but let me see what I wrote. So I'm going to take it out. So I'm going to take out my property out from their land. I'm going to take it back to my frame and then correct whatever I want to correct. So I'm going to align to the center here, and I'm going to zoom in, then change everything to be white so I can be, can be visible enough for me to see what I'm doing. I'm going to hold this and I'm going to align this way. 2 lines is okay. So I'm going to hold this and then I'm going to move to the center and I'm going to take it up. Something is not aligned very well. So this, I want it to be at the center. So this is how I want it to be. So I'm going to increase it a little bit. So I'm going to correct whatever I want to correct here. So this is partner. And this is client. So we have this, which is okay. Now we have the button. So I'm going to just duplicate my button. So I'm going to duplicate my button. Now I'll come here and I'll paste it. Now we've already created our button, so I don't need to start creating button. I'll just have to come here and then scroll to press button. So since it's under, I'm going to take it to the top. Where is the button? So I'm going to undo that. So I'm going to take it to the top. So I'm going to take it to the top and make sure it doesn't pass the scroll. So I'm going to take it to the top and then place it here. So I'm going to change the text to be contact us. So I'm going to make it to be contact us. So I'm going to hold this and then make it auto layout. And I'll hold this and then make it auto layout. So once I made it auto layout, I will now place it to the center and then I will now adjust it to the way I want. So I have adjusted to the way I want. This is what it is. So I'm going to drag it this way. So once I've dragged it this way, and I'm going to design the footer. So we're not going to copy this pattern of footer, like replicating all this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out rectangle, take the measurement of my footer the way I want. So I'm going to make my footer to be dark color. So I'm going to pick, oh, what am I taking this thing? So I'm going to pick this. So once I place this, now I want to design the footer. So the footer now, we're going to use small font. So I'm going to go back to my style guide and then I'll pick the font type I want. So I'm going to use 14 and 16. So we're going to use 14 and 16. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to scroll and come here. Our landing page is so beautiful. It's beautiful. So I'm going to paste it here. So I'm going to change it to white. So let's change it to white. So once I change to white, so I'll now start adding. So we're not going to use this pattern of landing page. So I'm just going to create my own, footer. This is footer. So I'm not going to use this pattern of footer. I'm going to create my own. So I'm going to make this here, and I'm going to duplicate it here, and I'm going to use 16, and I'm going to use medium. So if I use semi-bold, I will go back to my style guide and add it. So here I'm going to use 18. I think 18 is better. Okay, 20 is not bad. So 20 I'm going to say about. So I'm going to say informations, and I'm going to duplicate. I will duplicate, and I will duplicate. So you can make it whatever. So I'm just doing my own footer. I'm not actually copying their type. It's not that it's bad, it's good, but I just want to copy their type. So I'm going to make this auto layout and I'm going to align to the left. So I'm going to make this also like this, and I'll just change this to products. So I'm going to change this to products. And I'm going to duplicate these two, and I'm going to drag it. So let's delete this one. So we already have 1, 2, 3. So let's make it auto layout and let's come here and adjust it. So I'm going to turn on my layout grid. So I'm going to turn it on to see what I'm doing. I'm going to go back and get my logo. So let's get this logo. Okay, I locked it. So I have to go back. I locked it. So I'm going to turn it on and I'm going to drag it out, duplicate, and I'm going to lock it back. So I'm going to cut it and I'm going to come back to my footer and I'm going to paste it here. So once I paste it, I'll make sure it's inside. I'll bring it here and then I'll change this black text to be white. So I'll scroll up, change the black text to be white. So I'm going to change it to white and I'm going to close it and I'm going to get body text. So I'm going to duplicate the one already big. So I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm going to duplicate this and I'll paste it here and I'll change it to white. So it's actually under. So what am I going to do? So on your keyboard, we are going to use brackets to bring it up. So I'm going to click on the text and use bracket to bring it up, which has already aligned to the top. So I'm going to take this out a little bit and I'm going to reduce this font text from 20 to 16. So I'm going to reduce it this way. I'm going to hold these two together, auto layout. So I'm going to reduce the spacing between them. Now we already have this. So once we have this, I'm going to align to the top and I want them to be same line. I'm going to place it here. Now, just look at, we're getting inspiration for this. So I'm going to add like our contact us information. So I'm going to take this title text. Yeah. So I'm going to drag it out. I'm going to make it contact us. So once I put it to contact us, I'm going to take this information. So I'm going to make it with, and then add my address and phone number. So I'm going to say number 30, Abdul Salam Street. Abdul Salam. Salam, I don't know if I'm spelling your name very well. Street, Kubwa. Kubwa, Abuja. Okay, let's put behind Living Faith Church. Behind Living Faith Church or behind anything. Okay, let's put behind Central Primary School. Okay, Kubwa, FCT, Abuja, Nigeria. So I'm going to put FCT, Abuja. Think comma after this in there, Nigeria, full stop. Nigeria, full stop. You can put Africa, you can put planet Earth. The choice is yours. So we're going to place it this way. Now I'm going to align to this side. So this is how I want it to be. And this is how I want this to be. So I'm going to align this way. I'm going to bring it this way. I'm going to reduce this and then this like this. Now let's put our phone number. So let's put our phone number. Plus 2348076 this 10. So we've add phone number. We're going to add our email. So we have contacts. We have contacts, whatever contact info. You can put contacts underscore. Where is underscore? Underscore info at. Sorry, there's no space at gmail.com, and then we can now hold all of them together and then make auto layout and this. Can I make this and this auto layout? So we can make this auto. You can choose to align everything this way. You can choose to align everything this way, but I think I like it this way, like this. And I can then reduce. Let's reduce this address a little bit. So I'm going to reduce this address a little bit. So once I've reduced this address a little bit, I'm going to hug this content. I'm going to hug this content. So once I've hugged it, now I'm going to hold all of them together and then align to the right. So and I'll hold this together and this is okay. So let's hold this together. Now this is perfect. So I'm going to move this to this place, hold this, and then hold this. And then I will now move to the top and then make them auto layout. So once we've made them auto layout, what is the next thing? We're going to hold the footer and then make it auto layout. So we've made it auto layout, we're going to adjust it to the ending and this to the ending. So this is what we have so far. So once we are done, I think I'm missing something. So I missed out something. So there's this little information that normally be added down. So I didn't add it. So let's add it. Copyright something. So let's add it. At least let's make our landing page to look real. So I'm going to duplicate this text. So I'm going to duplicate this text and I'm going to come here. What is that thing? Copyright. I think I'm right. Copyrights at something 20. Let's just put the company name YK on 2024. So once I'm done, I'm going to hold these two together. But before you do auto layout, make sure it's actually at the ending. So we're going to make it auto layout. Are you guys still with me? So once you make it auto layout, you will now hold these two together. So you're going to hold these together and then make it auto layout and align to the center. So once you align to the center, you can now hold all of them together. So I noticed that this is actually more than. So I'm going to hold this line. I'm going to bring it in here. I'm going to open and go to the line, the vector. So I'm going to reduce it to be here. And I will go and check at the other corner too. So you can see that this even gets to the point. So I'm going to drag it. So let's zoom out a little bit. So I'm going to drag it and allow it to get to the point. So if you're dragging it, make sure you're holding your shift to give you straight line. So when we get to the point, then I can now hold this and then adjust to this point. Then I can now zoom out. So once I've zoomed out, I'm going to hold this together and this together and then make it auto layout. So once I've made auto layout, I can now drag this to this point and then to the other point. And then I can now reduce this part to the way I want it to be. So then you can now go ahead and adjust if you want to adjust. So you can adjust. Now, if you want to make this thing responsive, you can actually give it a try. So I am going to turn off the layer grid and I'm going to reduce the space. I don't need anymore. So I'm going to drag it. Now let's see what we've done so far. So I want this line to be I want this line to be done. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reduce this to this place and I'm going to hold the space. Now I'm going to hold the space. Now this is the space. I'm going to reduce it. And then I'm going to look for this other one. Now this one, I'm going to reduce the space. So I'm going to hold it here and I'm going to reduce the space from here. So I'm going to hold this and I will reduce it again from here. Now I'm going to hold the entire frame and then I'll have to reduce it from here again. So I'm going to click on the landing page and then I'll cover this white space. So this is how we've been. Now let's look at what we've done so far from beginning to the ending. So this is what we've done. So let's start from beginning. So this is what we have. So this is it. This is it. So we've created a landing page. So this is how beautiful using auto layouts can be. So I'm going to end the recording now. And I hope it's not difficult.